We have breaking news. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, he notes that the New York Knicks are being denied the disabled player exemption for Mitchell Robinson's injury by the NBA. This is actually signaling that the New York Knicks could potentially get Robinson back this season. This is a massive, huge report for the Knicks, who could potentially get back one of the best offensive rebounders in the game today. We're going to break down this massive report and so much more today. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Mitchell Robinson could potentially be returning early for the New York Knicks. This is a massive report by Adrian Wojnarowski, who recently reported the following. According to Woj, ESPN sources indicate that the NBA is denying the Knicks a $7.8 million disabled player exemption for the loss of Mitchell Robinson because there's optimism that Robinson can return from ankle surgery to play late in the regular season. The Knicks could be getting back one of the league's best defensive centers. That is a massive report from Adrian Wojnarowski here. Before, we thought that Mitchell Robinson was going to miss the entire season. And not for nothing. He was having a career year. He might have been in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. That's how impactful he was for the Knicks on the defensive end. When the Knicks lost him, we needed to scramble to see potentially who could step up in his place. And Isaiah Hartenstein has fit in perfectly, phenomenally. He has helped this New York Knicks team win 5 straight, along with the addition of OG Anunoby, and this Knicks team is just playing better, playing together. And not only that, they look like they're playing for one another. I just love to see that for this team. And if you're a Knicks fan right now, you have to be enjoying the way this Knicks team is playing, the way the ball is moving, and the way they are dominating teams. And in my opinion, if you can get back Mitchell Robinson, either late in the regular season, like Adrian Wojnarowski reported here, or maybe even in the postseason, where the games matter more, and we know Mitchell Robinson and his dominance, especially on the defensive end in the postseason. If the Knicks are able to get that back, and then you're able to push Isaiah Hartenstein to the bench, creating again one of the best big men duo in the entire NBA, I think the New York Knicks are for real, they're scary, and even more of a contender than they are right now. Because Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, seeing those two on defense together, who's stopping them? Who is taking the ball away from other players on the Knicks roster? Because if you do that, you got to contend with OG and Mitchell Robinson on the other end of the floor. Block shots, stolen balls, impressive defensive pressure. What are you doing as an opposing team? What are you doing against this New York Knicks team? And then when you bring in your bench, you got to worry about Isaiah Hartenstein, what he's going to do, his rebounding prowess, the way he blocks shots, the way he passes the ball and gets everybody involved. That's what you're going to have to worry about as an opposing team when you're facing the New York Knicks. Not to mention the physicality that you get and that you're greeted with each and every time you take the floor with this New York Knicks roster. It's looking scary. It's scary hours right now for the New York Knicks. However, there are some fans who are a little bit hesitant on adding Mitchell Robinson back because they believe that Hartenstein is the better starter for this team. I can understand that. I can hear that. I can even understand that you wanting to see that, given how Hartenstein doesn't clog the paint. I can even understand why fans would want that, given how Hartenstein is moving the ball along the baseline to open shooters. You want to see that as a Knicks fan. You don't want to see the ball movement stop. You want to see it increase. Well, here's my argument to that. Why wouldn't it still increase with Mitchell Robinson? What if you find Mitchell Robinson down low and he gets a putback dunk? The only thing you can tell me and sell me on is that Mitchell Robinson and his free throws leave a lot to be desired. And on that front, I can agree with you. Isaiah Hartenstein, way better free throw shooter than Mitchell Robinson is. So if you're going to make the argument that if Mitch gets fouled, he's not going to give you the same impact as Hartenstein is because he's likely going to miss those shots, I can understand that. But I love Mitch, his physicality, and what he means down low. The way he can trap players, the way defenses don't know what to do against him, the way that if you're a shooter and you see Mitchell Robinson in the paint, It just alters your shot just a little bit. And in basketball, if your shot is altered, even by this much, it's going to probably lead to a missed shot. And if you're missing shots with Mitchell Robinson under the rim, 9 times out of 10, Mitch is grabbing that rebound, Mitch is passing it up court, and we're trying our best to get a transition basket. What else could you want? What else could you need? I get Hartenstein. I understand what he does for this Knicks team. I understand what he means for this Knicks team. But Mitchell Robinson coming back is a good thing, not a bad thing. Tell me any team in the NBA that would say no to one of the best offensive rebounders in the game coming back and returning for the team. Not only that, he doesn't need the ball to be effective, just like Isaiah Hartenstein. And we're denying it because we like Hartenstein's fit just a little bit better than Mitch's fit. I understand that, but you don't have to hate one and love the other. Guess what? You can actually love both of them. I love Mitch starting depending on the matchup. I love Isaiah Hartenstein starting depending on the matchup. And that's exactly what Tom Thibodeau needs to do. It's not on us. We love both of them. Why is it on us to choose who starts? That's not fair. That's not on us. It should be dependent on matchup. Depending on who you're playing and who's a better fit, that's the player that should be starting at center. So if that's Hartenstein some nights, start him. If that's Mitch some nights, start him. I'm not going to be the guy that says, oh, I wish that Isaiah Hartenstein could continue to start. I don't like Mitchell Robinson coming back, because Mitch coming back likely means Isaiah Hartenstein's coming back to the bench, and I don't want that. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that person, because I enjoy both of them. They both mean a lot to this Knicks team, and they both play a different center for this Knicks team. Both, by the way, which are very impactful, and the Knicks need both of them. Last year, with the Cavs series, Mitchell Robinson was dominant. He was going at the Cavs. He was doing anything he wanted to do, and he was abusing them on defense. Who's to say we don't get that same matchup this year? And if we do, I would love Mitchell Robinson in the starting unit. If it's a different starting five, maybe Milwaukee, sure. Maybe we start Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm okay with that too. But it should be dependent on matchup. And whose decision is that? Tom Thibodeau. Not yours, not mine, not the players. It's Thibs. He needs to make the right decision based on matchup. And if he does that, with Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson on this roster, I would love to see the team that beats this Knicks team in a 7-game series. Because the Knicks, with that type of depth, is going to be an extremely hard out. And as Adrian Wojnarowski stated here, there is optimism that Randle can return from ankle surgery that he just had to play late in the regular season for the Knicks. Which means that if he's ramping up to play late in the regular season, in all likelihood, he's going to be available, likely starting the playoffs. Because this Knicks team right now looks like a contender without him. So they're not going to rush Mitchell Robinson back at all. If he can return late in the regular season, there's going to be no point in returning at that point in time, because it's likely that the Knicks playoff seeding is already going to be established. And if that's the case, why risk Mitchell Robinson and injuring him further? Why would you do that? You'd likely wait and get him ready and active for the playoffs. And I think if the Knicks already have established seeding when Mitchell Robinson is ready to come back, he won't return and he won't come back this regular season. He will return, however, in the playoffs, in my opinion. And if the Knicks get that type of player in the playoffs, added to the roster that they already have, dangerous, lethal, destructive. Tell me a team that would be willing, raising their hand up, saying, you know what? I'm okay with seeing this Knicks team for a 7-game series. You won't find them. They don't exist. You don't want to see this Knicks team. You don't want to see Randle. You don't want to see Brunson. You don't want to see our bench. You don't want to see our depth. And if we get Mitchell Robinson, you definitely don't want to see the best big men duo in the league in Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, at least on defense. I think everybody, especially in the NBA, would at least agree with that much. Because when they both are active for this Knicks team, we are dominant. and I want to see a lot more of that dominance in the playoffs. I can't recall the last time as a Knicks fan that I was thinking about questions like this. Normally the questions are, well, maybe we're going to be a play-in team. Well, at least we have our draft pick this year, and we're going to draft the player, and we're going to definitely get that guy on the roster and develop him and make sure he's a stud. That's the stuff we used to say. You notice nobody's saying that anymore because there's no reason to say that. Because the Knicks look good. They look like contenders. Shout out to my guy Kendrick Perkins. And they look like a team that can take it all the way. Be that surprising team this year in the East that can potentially go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe that for this Knicks team, especially given the way that they've played over the last 5 games. But what about you guys? What do you think about this massive update from Adrian Wojnarowski and ESPN, basically stating that Mitchell Robinson could be returning early? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.